Apple's annual September event is now in the rear mirror, with the iPhone 17 series officially in the hands of the public, but you may be wondering, where is the HomePod Mini 2? Well, we did think it could launch at the September event, but it remains unreleased. However, before you get too disappointed, Mark Gurman has reassured us there are more products coming in the next few months. I know that's quite a large time frame, but personally, I feel like we could see HomePod Mini 2 drop via site refresh in the coming weeks, maybe even as soon as October alongside the M5 Mac Mini and iPad Pro that's supposed to launch next month, and so that's pretty exciting. Now as for the specs, there's actually big news. According to Code Discoveries, we have news about which chipset the upcoming HomePod Mini could get. A reference found in Apple's own internal files point towards a next-gen model, codenamed B525, running on a brand new processor built on the same T8310 microarchitecture that powers the S9 and the S10 chips in the Apple Watch Series 9 and 10. The HomePod Mini 2 is finally moving on from the aging S5 chipset it's been stuck with since launch. That's a big deal because the S11 chipset essentially is a scaled down A16 with a 64-bit dual-core CPU and a 4-core neural engine. That means way faster performance, better Siri responsiveness, and more things being handled locally instead of constantly relying on Apple servers. Add in rumours of a new Apple-designed Wi-Fi and Bluetooth combination chipset, so-called Proxima, with Wi-Fi 6E support, and they're looking at a HomePod Mini that's not just faster, but far more reliable on the wireless side as well. And with whispers about new color options also on the table, this refresh could be Apple's most appealing update to the HomePod lineup yet. But the HomePod Mini 2 isn't the whole story, because Apple's also preparing a much bigger move in the smart home space. But before we delve into that, consider hitting the subscribe button. It's free, it keeps you updated on the latest Apple news, and it helps the channel grow. So join the Surround gang now and never miss an update. Anyway, inside a leaked internal build of iOS 18 from March 2024, code references were found pointing towards Apple's upcoming chipsets, and one of them was an interesting one called Proxima, an all-new Apple-designed Wi-Fi and Bluetooth chipset that I mentioned earlier. According to tipsters, this Proxima chipset could make its debut in the updated Apple TV and HomePod Mini models launching later this year, and that's a big deal, because it marks Apple's next step in cutting ties with third-party suppliers like Broadcom, just like it ditched Intel Macs and it's transitioning away from Qualcomm modems in their iPhones. With Proxima, Apple's fully in control of the wireless experience, and the HomePod Mini could be one of the first devices to benefit from this. So what does that mean for you and your smart speaker? Well, the current HomePod Mini is running on Wi-Fi 4, which is ancient at this point. The Proxima chipset should bring Wi-Fi 6E or even Wi-Fi 7, along with support for Bluetooth 5.3, resulting in a faster, more reliable connection. That means faster Siri response times, smoother audio handoff, and better performance across the board. And that's just the beginning. This year could be a major turning point for the entire HomePod range. We're not just talking about a refresh mini, there are consistent rumours suggesting Apple's working on two major HomePod releases, a new HomePod Mini, and an all-new product in the form of a Home Hub display. And trust me, there's a lot to unpack. Let's start with the Smart Display Home Hub. Bloomberg's Mark Gurman has said this could launch in 2026, though no specific release date has been confirmed yet. If I had to guess, I'll say it's likely to launch around March or April of next year. That timing would line up with a report from Min Chiu Kuo, who says mass production's kicking off in the second half of this year. So it's not official yet, but all signs do point towards a spring debut. Gurman has described the device as Apple's most significant smart home release yet. That's saying something. Apple hasn't exactly led the smart home space, so this could be a sign Apple's taking the smart home market more seriously. The product itself, Gurman says it's a smaller, cheaper iPad meant to control your smart appliances, make FaceTime calls, and perform other activities. It's vague, sure, but essentially this is Apple's answer to the Amazon Echo Show or Google Nest Hub, devices that have been around for years. What's exciting though is what's inside. This Home Hub will be powered by the A18 chipset, which gives it full access to Apple Intelligence, the new AI suite baked into iOS. That means this won't just be a dumb screen for asking the weather, it's going to be capable of smart suggestions, automation, and context-aware responses. Though to be fair, even with the A18 and Apple Intelligence, we're still dealing with the same old terrible Siri, at least for the time being, till Apple prepares the new Siri. So temper your expectations. Now design-wise, the Home Hub is rumoured to have a 7-inch display, which is smaller than expected considering the 16 Pro Max already has a 6.9-inch display. The aspect ratio will probably make it feel a bit more like a square, so it should still function well as a tabletop or wall-mounted screen. And speaking of mounting, that's one of the more interesting features. You'll be able to mount this on a wall or attach it to a speaker base for a more stationary home-focused setup. that could turn this into a centralized control panel for your entire home, managing security cameras, adjusting smart thermostats, or even running HomeKit scenes with a tap or voice command. The software running on this product is going to reportedly be called HomeOS, and it's going to feature widget-based home screen, full Siri integration, and deep ties to HomeKit. There'll also be a built-in camera, making it ideal for FaceTime calls, especially for older users who might not want or need a full iPad. I can definitely see this being popular with grandparents who want a simple no-frills way to keep in touch with family. Now let's talk about pricing. Competing products from Google and Amazon typically start at around $100, but this is Apple, so they're probably going to charge $199 or higher. That's not horrible, especially if the build quality speakers and display are up to Apple's usual standards. Either way, it should be cheaper than an iPad, which currently retails for $349, so hopefully pricing wise, worst case scenario is $199. But for a lot of people, the smart display isn't going to be the main draw. The real attention is on the new HomePod mini. This little guy is the best-selling HomePod, largely because of its $99 price tag. So what can we expect from the second generation model? Well, as I mentioned earlier, it's likely going to include the new Proxima chipset, Apple's new Wi-Fi and Bluetooth combination chipset. Now, I don't expect Apple to market this as Proxima. That's probably a code name, and this new chipset will probably have a letter, similar to how they use M for Mac chips and C recently for their first 5G modem. I guess they haven't used B yet, so maybe this could be called B1. Anyway, on top of that, we should also see some tweaks to the speaker's audio output. I use HomePod minis as TV speakers, and they already sound surprisingly good for their size, but a little more bass or increased volume headroom would be appreciated. If Apple can boost the sound while keeping the compact form factor, that's going to be a win. As for color options, I hope Apple doesn't get lazy. The current colors are fine, but adding even just one new shade will help the second gen model stand out. Given Apple's track record though, they might just copy paste the same 5 colors and call it a day. Not the end of the world, but still a missed opportunity for something fresh. There's also rumored ultra-wideband chip upgrades, possibly the second generation ultra-wideband chipset, which would help improve proximity-based interactions and make handoff even faster. All of these upgrades combined would make the new HomePod mini feel more modern and responsive. But the most important thing Apple needs to get right is the price. If this thing jumps to $129 or $149, that could seriously damage its appeal. $99 is what made the mini hit, and if Apple wants to keep this on top, they need to hold that line. So between the powerful new Proxima chipset, better wireless standards, snappier Siri, and some minor audio improvements, the next HomePod mini shaping up to be a solid if incremental upgrades. And with the HomePod potentially arriving in just a few months, Apple seems to be finally waking up to the smart home race. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Are you excited for the new HomePod mini? Would you buy the HomeHub smart display? Or are you waiting to see how Apple prices it? Don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.